What's up, E.D.G family? Kevin here, and today I wanted to do a video on 5 games in my collection that are currently misses. They're games that I think I could probably enjoy a little bit more. I don't dislike these games. A couple of them I really want to play more. It hasn't happened for me yet. So I'm hoping I can talk all 5 of these games, maybe get some advice from you guys, talk about what works for me, what maybe doesn't, and we can maybe turn some of those misses into hits. I'll be right back. Alright, so before we get into this, I would like to mention I am sipping on a Aperol Old Fashioned. I did a video on it. Check it out. I thought it kind of paired very well with this video because we got 5 games that are currently misses, and this drink may be a miss, it may be a hit. You'll have to check out that video and find out, but I do want to talk about the first miss. The first miss in my collection for me right now is Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. This isn't a game that I necessarily would think is super close to, leaving my collection. It is quite a small box. I would say if I'm looking for a worker placement, I didn't have a bunch of space, I would probably take it on a trip. So we'll do that. But it is a worker placement, kind of park building. You're a rancher. You're basically raising dinosaurs, completing objectives, selling those dinosaurs to, a Jurassic Park, a Jurassic World, what you will, and getting points for it. It's a game that was pretty accessible for my 8-year-old probably a couple years ago. She did associate this as a worker placement game rather quickly, but since we do now have other worker placement games, she is a big fan of Tenpenny Park, so I feel like that kind of takes this back a step, and it's not really getting played as much. The other thing is I have played this quite a bit solo, but it is quite challenging, and sometimes I feel like I don't get pulled into the theme enough to want to jump into it. I feel like it's more of just a mechanical challenge of the solo rancher taking a ton of spots that you can't use, and your strategy is just constantly having to evolve. So yeah, that's Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. Like I said, none of these games are necessarily games I'm looking to get rid of. They're just games that I think I need to maybe give them a second chance. And maybe you can give me your thoughts on this game as well, and I can figure out if, I'll get it played more. The next one I want to talk about is another game that my experiences is definitely more with my child, and that is the Funko Verse strategy game. I think the fact that Funko has all these IPs, they can do some really crazy things with this game lineup. In fact, Harry Potter isn't the only one I have. I have Jurassic Park as well, and I've eyeballed getting a couple more. I just don't get this played enough to really do that. It's kind of a battling game. It's you have like a charge up cooldown track. You're using ability tokens, and you're rolling dice, and you're moving around, and it's relatively simple, but I don't think it's quite accessible enough for my 8-year-old to pick up. At least yet. So it's one of those games I'm holding on, and hopefully it will get played more, and then I'll spend a ton of money. At least that's what the people at Pop hope. I do like it. Like I said, it's an okay battling game. The other thing is I feel like if you take this with generally other people I play games with, I feel like they'd much rather play like a Dice Throne than this as well. I feel like the coolest thing about the game is all the Funkos, and I don't necessarily know how to get this game tabled more often. So definitely let me know if this is a game you play with your kids or whatnot. If there's a specific age group you think this really hits at, I'll just stash it for a couple years. Maybe buy some of the other ones when they're on sale. Hopefully it hits. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this one. The next one I want to talk about is Mega City Oceano. This is a game I picked up. I think it was on sale around the holidays about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And it was a game that I always I saw, the table presence of all these towers, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks really cool. I want to play this game. I want it to be on my table. But I feel like other than the building, the mechanics of the game are kind of okay. It's a drafting game, sure. You're taking turns, you're drafting specific objectives for you to do. You're drafting tiles, you're drafting, your pieces, and then you just sit there and build, which is the coolest thing, is the building. Even with playing the full game, which I've done, 2 or 3 times, the fact that you can build on other people's turn is great. You can't deliver what you're building to the city. That's the biggest hang up. But I like that it keeps you busy on other people's turns. It just, like I said, it just hasn't really hit for anybody else. This doesn't have a standard solo mode or anything like that. I did pick up a Board Game Geek variant, player built variant, which I think I played a few times after I picked this up, just to get it played more. I don't like buying games and letting them sit, especially if they're new. I don't like, to be like, oh, I'll get that play in a week or two. I don't like to do that. I like to get my plays in early, and then if I feel like I played it enough, it'll sit. And I kind of did that with this, but since then, it's just kind of set. And I don't really want to play the solo variant when I have, other great solo games to play. And I don't know what to do with this. So let me know what your thoughts are on Mega City Oceano. Is this a game that you've played and it was a hit? Is this a game like me that you picked up because you thought it looked really, really cool, and it didn't get played quite as much as you wanted it to? The next game is a great game as far as the mechanics go. I would just wish other people I played with also thought so, and that's Aquatica. Aquatica, this is a card-playing combo game. There's a lot of different ways to combo your moves in this game. You get to play a card. You get to buy a new card. You get to slide cards up, and they activate all these abilities on your cards. You just constant combo, and then you could even pull a card back, flip a mana array. I know that sounds like super confusing, but it is as far as I can tell, it is a game that is just built for you to set up huge turns. And that is probably the coolest thing about playing this with other people, is just, oh my gosh, you get to do that, 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 and then now it's your turn, and they're like, wow, you did a lot of stuff. I like that. I like doing a lot of stuff on my turns. I have played this quite a bit solo, and I will tell you, right when I got it, same kind of thing. I was hyped to play it. I played quite a bit solo, and then it just kind of went stale. It doesn't hit as good for me as the multiplayer game. I want to play this with, 2 or 3 people every single time I play it, and every single time I've played this, it hasn't really hit for others. I don't know why. I think maybe it's you need a player or two to get the mechanics, maybe know what cards are out there. I think a lot of the issue with the solo game is, a lot of the locations will get buried, and you're looking for maybe specific things, and you can't get to them quick enough as you can when you have other players also purchasing cards, beating locations. But it's a really fun combo game, and I really wish it got played more. And I really wish somebody could tell me, even give me a different solo variant where maybe there's a user solo variant out there I haven't seen, and it would get played more. The last one is definitely the newest one, and that one is Mythic Mischief. So I like Mythic Mischief. I think it is a fantastic game. I think the components, I'm going to tell you right now, out of all these games, and I mean, we're talking about building games, and we're talking about Funkos and stuff, but E.D.G Games did great on this. This thing is so cool. I would have unboxed this on this channel if I'd have started the channel about, 4 months earlier. But this is a great game. It's a semi-abstract, You could easily not have this cool mystical school theme attached to it. It could be a straight abstract, but it is it's vibrant. It's colorful. It's more than just your standard abstract, in my opinion. And I think the hardest thing I've had is teaching new players how to play the game. I think you kind of have to have somebody that's played a few games. It's not like teaching checkers. It's like teaching chess. It's like teaching somebody a game of chess as you are beating them in a game of chess, and they don't even know you're beating them yet. So it's a hard one. But I will say it also has a solo mode, and the solo mode has been very hit or miss for me. I think some games it gives me a decent challenge, but I feel like the AI doesn't work the way it should. I'll have a lot of situations where they really won't do much. And it's like, man, I'm gonna have to make a play to get points on this, because you're in this game, you're moving around, you're grabbing tomes to upgrade what you can do, but you're trying to get them caught by a programmed tome keeper. Think of it as like kind of a librarian that moves through the map, and your goal is to basically throw your opponents in front of this path so they can get caught. So as you do that, you know, if your opponent's not moving a whole lot, or all they're doing is moving away from the tome keeper, it makes it quite a bit of challenge. It makes it very tight scoring, but it also doesn't make it very interesting. So that's been my biggest issue with the solo game, is I feel like sometimes you can kind of just put them in situations where they don't do much, causing you to have to do more, or they interact generally closer to how a actual opponent would. But that's Mythic Mischief. I really want to like this game. Really. So let me know what you guys think on this one. This is definitely one I think I'd probably maybe try to get to Tabletop Simulator, hopefully in the next couple weeks, if a couple of you out there up for that. But yeah, that would be number 5. But let me know. You got any comments on any of these games? Obviously, give me some advice on them. But let me know what misses you have in your collection, and maybe kind of how maybe you've turned those around. Did you figure out a different way to play them? Did you get online, do some research? Maybe you were playing them wrong, and that was causing your lack of enjoyment. I don't know. I want to play them all more. Every one of them. I generally don't like to buy games that don't get played. I don't like to buy games that I don't know if they'll get played. I usually have a pretty good sense, and these 5 have fallen a little flat. But if you have any ideas of how I can turn those games into hits for me, let me know. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Much love.